would have put it up today to ride. It points. It appears to be quite a narrow azimuth on the beam width, and I can move it 5 or 10 degrees either side. We proved it into Israel the other day with the Mia. We were there mucking about there, dropping power and whatever, and worked about 8 countries from the one beam heading, but I moved around a couple of degrees every time, and they even noticed it on their end. It's very direct, but my goodness, it appears to have a lot of gain, even on the receiver. But the Ultra Beam is a great antenna, but it wasn't as direct a beam as this. And it had a wider azimuth, about 28 to 30 degrees on the Ultra Beam, but this is probably down to about 18 to 20 degrees. A little pointy, but very good. And getting huge signals, really, huge signal reports in relation to power used and what I'd normally use. And everything is far and away more a bigger signal than what I previously got with the Ultra Beam. I used the Ultra Beam, that particular one, for about 9 years, and I had one before that as well. So about 15 years of Ultra Beam. But I'm super impressed with this GXP. It's only 59 kilo. It's a big antenna. It's 13 elements and 6 bands and 2 elements on 40. On 40 meters, it's an absolute killer, John. The guys over there just cannot believe it, really. And I'm very impressed, super impressed. Well made, light, very good price, and it works like a garden hose, John. Over.
Yeah, Roger, and of course, Dennis, you don't have to worry about any moving parts. Over.
Well, you got that as well, and also the second receiver now is always on a resonant frequency. No matter where you put it, between 40 and 10 meters, the second receiver frequency is resonant. You couldn't do that with the Ultra Beam because it's single frequency only, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I know there's a guy in Ireland, and he had one of the big GXPs. Now, it had an accident, but it wasn't the fault of the antenna. It was the fault of him. So as a stopgap, he put up another GXP, and that's one of the it's a 3-element 5-bander, and he really loves that. I think he tells me he's not going to go back to the big one. Over.
Yeah, well, there's 2 guys in Northern Ireland that have got this same antenna as me, and they made contact with me after Christmas, and I missed the email. I went to the spam box. But when I found it, I caught up with them, and they had a bit of trouble with the translation of the paperwork from Waldeck. So we sorted them out with photos and everything, and they're using them. Robert McLeod, he's got one. I just can't think of his call at the moment. And his mate over there's got one, and they just gobsmacked. They couldn't believe the difference. And they're like me. They wondered why we waited so long to put the thing up. I'm very super impressed. There's a lot of them in North America now as well. And on the East Coast over there in New Hampshire and up that way, Massachusetts and everything. There's quite a few of them over there now as well, John. And they're going real well. And I get on the short path into North America every afternoon about 2 o'clock. Virtually open the band. There's nobody there, and they can't believe it. Some of the signal, most of them are using NFET half-wise over there, but it's quite impressive on their side. And some of the signal reports are ridiculous. But no, it's a very, very good antenna. I spoke to Waldeck a couple of weeks ago, and he said he's very, very busy now. That Wemo has bought OptiBeam. So you can bet your money that everything will slow down with Wemo and OptiBeam now, because it does. Everything they touch has gone backwards in time, because they bought UltraBeam as well in 2018 from Enzo, and then it went backward as well. So I think GXP now will come to the forefront. There's a lot going on in the antenna, but it all radiates together. Like, you can't take one small piece off, because the whole antenna detunes. The way these new modelling programs work now, the whole lot is modelled together. But a lot of aluminium in the sky, but my goodness, it works. And I have no receive preamp on. Sometimes I put 10 dB on the receiver. It's incredible the amount of RF it catches, that's for sure. No, I'm super impressed, mate, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you were talking about that other shop. Maybe the quality or the speed of delivery is going backwards, but not the prices, over.
Prices will go forward. John, I know I've told you the story. Delta Kilo 7 Lima Juliet travelled to Romania, and on the way back he stopped at Polak. He stopped at Waldeck's factory in his camper van, and he wanted to order a 2-element 80-metre beam. So Waldeck said, well, park the camper up and I'll build it for you now while you're here, and you can take him home. So Per stayed there. And Per made contact with me from Waldeck's store. And he said, do you need an antenna? And I said, yes. So I sent him an email and told him what I wanted, and he sent back a price the next day, an invoice. And I sent him another email, and I said, did you include the freight, Waldeck? Is that the total price? And he said, yes. And I said, I'll have one. Because I only just recently had got a price from OptiBeam Tom. And I can tell you, there's no comparison, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, there you go. Well, that's great news, and I'm very happy with you. And I got a message from a VK3 station, and he told me he's either ordered or he has one with him now. So he has one of the GXP. I don't know which one it is. He mentioned the model number, but I'm very happy for you, Dennis. You know, you can say it's a pity that you didn't put it up 3 years ago, but the bottom line, Dennis, is you've put it up, over.
Yeah, very good. ON80i, VK4SX X-ray, Dennis on East Coast. I know there's several VKs. Quite a few VKs have made contact with me over the model. Waldeck, I organised a couple of these antennas to go to Thailand. He'll send them anywhere now. He's got his international freight organised and working very good now. And I do know there's a lot of guys that I have not spoken to. And I do know from the ham grapevine that there's a lot of guys that have listened and have raised the subject, but they haven't had, I don't know why, what they're lacking. They haven't actually made contact with me, but they've been listened, of course, because I'm pretty active on all the bands. And I think they've seen the result. The proof is in the pudding, John. So I do know that there's quite a few hams in VK2 and 3 that are entertaining this antenna, because there's absolutely nothing in this category anywhere. The closest thing in this category is an OptiBeam 12-6 for $2,000 more, or $2,200 more. Oh, there's a JK antenna for $4,000 more, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, that's really good news. And just out of curiosity, Dennis, do you ever make contact with Brian? Now, I can never remember his call sign, but he's one of the biggest signals out of North America on 40 meters, and his name is Brian. I think he has an Anan, and he's N4. It's like WNT or something like that, over.
What was he called? Something WBT or something like that, is that right?
It's N4, November 4, and then there's one letter which I can never NT, so there's a letter and then NT, over.
Yeah, I know the guy. I think I heard him last night, actually, yeah. But I didn't go back. He was talking some end of VK. There was very little activity at 1000, 1100, 1200 Zulu into North America short path. I haven't had much. I generally catch up to them, but not on the old guys I knock around with. I haven't heard them, but there is a couple of guys that go down the bottom at 128 or 138, 7138 on 40 metres, and they gibber away there. But most of the old guys that I used to knock around was old Joe DeMere. He died just recently, and I didn't even know. And he was 93. I set his 8,000 up, him and 3 or 4 of them. of using unknowns, but back in 2020, 2021, but they weren't right. They didn't have them going right. So I went through one at a time, and it took me about 5 months, but I set up these 4 8,000s for them. And I'm glad Joe had a lot of fun of the last 12 months or last 3 years of his life. He was very old. He was 93, Joe DeMere in Florida. And I got all those 8,000 circulating, and they couldn't believe it. Not only the receiver, but they couldn't believe the transmitted reports they were getting after we got everything right. I sent them all my paperwork of all my settings, and then we went through live and changed them and got them to get familiar with the settings and everything, and it took a long time, but they were very full, very old, and very happy chappies once they done it. But then most of them guys are dead and gone now, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, that's one of the few things that we're certain about, that one day we will go, but hopefully not for a good while yet, Dennis. Yeah, that guy Brian, he speaks to another guy, and I can't remember his call sign either, but his Dr. Peter he speaks to, over.
Yeah. Fire Plug Pete, W5FP in Texas. I haven't heard him for years. He used to be on there with Joe DeMere and them guys, but old Joe got away from that. But I haven't heard Fire Plug Pete for years and years and years, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I'll tell you when I don't know what time it is in. Actually, it's on 7138 or 7128, and I normally will hear them around. I'll hear them on an SDO receiver at around let's call it 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Zulu, over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I got there last night a bit late. Brian, there was a guy there on 7128. The 138 guys have dispersed a bit. I haven't heard them, but I got there a bit late last night to hear them. But yeah, that's the group. Yeah, I only used to call in to say good day to Joe and a couple of guys. I don't know any of them other fellas that have been coming there and they carry on there for ages. So I don't bother too much about that frequency, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, but I sometimes have it on in the shack or wherever while I'm doing something else. But Dennis, it's coming up local time. By the way, Dennis, is it's 10 minutes after 11 in the night time. So it's the early shift tomorrow. So time for bed for me, Dennis. Over.
Yeah, very good. We got an outstanding signal here, John. The modulation and everything is super clear. There've been a lot of people that would like the transmitted signal, that's for sure. I'm slowly getting there, John. It's been it's 14 years now. It's 14 years ago I started with this stuff, with VK2 DSG, and we came in and out of the Apache platform a couple of times because of the problems. It was pretty hectic and chaotic and very, very basic back in 2011-12, John. So we're slowly getting there and getting through to the masses, and they're starting to realise and see what it can produce. And there's quite a few changing over. So the more the better, so we can have 3 or 4 kilohertz spread all the way up 20 metres without anybody overshooting. So yesterday I was working into North America, and they said, there's a guy from Australia up the band. I said, I know, I can see the signal. He was 24 kilohertz wide, John, so I really don't know what they do to get a signal that wide, but I do know 100 watt hours, ICOM 7300, can put out a 25k signal if it's misadjusted. And they said, he's 40 dB over 9, but he's 24 kilohertz wide. They can be 100 dB over S9, John, I don't care. As long as they're under 5 kilohertz wide, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, normally my trace should be fairly clear and fairly tight. And in general, Dennis, I'm always on 3K, over.
Oh, exactly 3K. I'm up 175 and then 3175. So it's actually 3 kilohertz. And I've done the mod on the G2. It's up to nearly 70 dB now, third order IMD. I've done the transfer mod, port mod on the J7, J31 jumper on the G2. I haven't done it on the Genesis yet, but I've done it on the headless G2, and it made a huge difference, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, whatever you're doing a great job. So, just on a final, how is the lady of the house? Over.
Very good. My gate alarm went off when I was letting the dogs out. Her and the girls went for a walk. So it's 13 minutes past 7. So I shall sign off with you now, and I will go and warm up my Italian coffee lady, which is in the Prima Donna exclusive. I will fire it up. It takes about 5 minutes to get hot and get pressure up and everything, and then I'll make fresh coffee for her and myself. So there you go. So that'll do. Well, have a nice evening. Always a pleasure to catch you, John. Lovely signal. You'd be surprised. Oh, I can tell some terrible stories, John. In 2020, when I got my first one of the 7000 DLE Mark II series, and then I only had it 12 days, John, and then I sold a 7851, a 7610, and a K3S station. And I ended up buying another 7000. The guys I've known for many years, they all thought that I had a mental break and lost me marbles. Some of them even rang Rosemary up to see to check that I hadn't completely lost the plot. But I didn't. I put $27,000 in my pocket, John, and then I bought 2 bananas. So there you go. That's what you call a complete transformation. And they still don't get it. And my 7851 I used for 2 years, John, exclusively, and it still wasn't my go-to radio, but they don't get it. And they won't understand until they've had them on the one antenna. I had 4 of these top tier 1 radios on the one antenna system, because I had a good antenna system as well. So I knew what I was talking about personally, but I couldn't get that through to the masses. So it all came across as though I was a bit of a spastic or something. But anyhow, I made the transfer completely to Apache Lab. I'm not worried about it at all. And I don't have any 7000s anymore. I have a G2 headless and I have a G2 Genesis, the 7-inch screen one with the left button. That was made in February 2024. A mate of mine bought it, and he ordered an amplifier off him, and then they forgot about him for about 12 months. So he spat the dummy and won his $1,500 American deposit back. And he drove up here from where he lived and gave me this radio. He says, give me what you think it's worth. So I haven't used the thing. It's sitting here brand new. But anyhow, I will get around to using it, John. Stay safe, good evening, and we'll catch you later. Always a pleasure. ON80i, VK4SX, over.
Yeah, Roger on that, Dennis. Just one final. I haven't heard him in a while, but I believe VK2SR has a Anan 100, over.
I heard a story. He's dropped right off the planet. He bought a big antenna system off a mate of mine. I self-partly part organised it, but anyhow, he bought a big antenna system off a friend of mine, but it's laying in the shed. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't been on air. I don't know. I don't think he's 100% well. I haven't heard him, but you may have heard him. I did hear him one day, but it sounded terrible. So I sent him an email, but I don't think he appreciated the email there. But anyhow, I stay right out of it now. If they don't want to ask for assistance, there's too many experts out there, John, now. Newcomers and everything are experts. So I just stay right out of it, mate, over.
Yeah, well, I think you're doing the right thing. Anyway, Dennis, enjoy your coffee. I'm gonna switch off now, but always great hearing you, and always thank you. I always appreciate that you QSY with me. So VK4 Sugar X-Ray, Oscar November 8 Echo India. Till the next time, Dennis. Take care. Over.
Yeah, quickly, John. Yeah, thank you very much. Same to you, John. Now, which microphone are you using now? Are you using VAC or hardware audio, John? Over.
VAC. I've been VAC since day one. Over.
Okay, I've got a Scarlet Duo, the Studio Scarlet with the XLR. I have it here. Do you know Mukesh? Do you know K3 Victor Golf? Do you know Mukesh?
Yes, I do. I know him fairly well, over.
Yeah. I spent a bit of time with Mukesh over there, known him for many years, and Mukesh is going to give me a hand with WhatsApp to set up VAC. At the moment, I'm not using VAC, and the reason being, John, I've been doing this for over 50 years, and I've never ever had. I built my stations to broadcast standards. They say it's overkill, but anyhow, I got 2-inch coax in the ground. The center conductor is 11 millimeter tube, so I've never had RF ever. And I have 4 10 kilowatt line isolators up to 8,000 ohms to the load in the system. And I've had Roden Sports RF clamp meters clamped on the coax here, making maximum RF with no measurable RF on the coax. So I know I have a clean station. So a bloke once told me when he got into came back to the Anand family in 2019 or 2021, he told me the VAC, he said, I went VAC straight away. He said, I had an undetectable and undiscoverable RF eye problem. And when I started to sat back and listen, John, a lot of people that I knew who went to VAC, they did it because they had RF intrusion issues. Instead of trying to fix the problem, they went to another format. So I have a field strength meter right here in front of me. If you can see me here now, I could show it to you sitting here. And I have one sitting on the amplifier. I have it on maximum sensitivity. It is a draft diode field strength meter. And I don't have RF anywhere in the shack here. And I do a self-order for the ACMA very regular. So I am going to try, I'd like to try, before I get too old and sold, I would like to try VAC audio one day. Now I'm using the new Audio Technica BPHS-2 with the new MEMS EPM type pickup from Japan. Very expensive, but I picked it up very cheap, John. And I just plugged that directly straight into the radio. But Mukesh, so I spoke to Mukesh just the other day, and he's going to give me a hand and set it up. I have all the gear here. I just was a little concerned with the Windows 11 Pro with the audio driver systems because of some of the updates. I caused a little issue there about 12 months ago, but I've fixed that. I've blocked the updates and everything. But anyhow, we'll talk about that another day. Maybe you may be able to assist me if I get stuck, John. So I use purpose-built 48 volt to 3 volt transformers. They're studio transformers for 3.5 millimeter headset plugs or XLR plugs. They're designed by Rode from Denmark. It's an Australian company. So I bias the condenser mics externally, and then I just put them straight into the radio without using any of the biasing circuit in the Anand. So, but I have no RS, so I didn't find any reasons for me to use VAC. But your audio is outstanding, and I will try it one day. And I think I can possibly improve this signal here as well. We'll talk about it another day. If you'll hear Mukesh before me, pass him my regards. Stay safe, mate. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, Dennis. And just to say, I'll take a photo of the setup here. Have a look at my QRZ page. You'll see a few photos. And if you get a moment on YouTube, if you give in my call sign, you'll see various conversations. And I think there's maybe 2 conversations that I had with Mukesh, and you can hear how loud he sounds. So take care, enjoy your coffee, and we'll talk soon, I hope. VK4 Sugar X-Ray, Oscar November 8 Echo India. Bye-bye from Belgium, Dennis. Over.
I'll do that, mate. I will. Thank you very much. Mukesh is a great guy. I've been talking to him for many years now, for a long, long time, and we got a lot in common. Thank you, John. Stay safe. Have a nice evening. I'll catch you tomorrow. I shall go and make coffee. I will go QRT for 15 minutes and make coffee for the cook, for the captain, or the colonel, not the general. I don't know. She might have another rank today, John. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, Dennis. Thank you.